Two Sheds Gabby here, folks. Today I'm going to start a search on a box of nickels. Yesterday I went to the bank and I came back with nickels and pennies and two boxes of $half. I did the search in the $half and I got a proof. No silver, big bummer. But hopefully we'll find some good stuff in this box of nickels. It is rainy and gloomy, flooding everywhere. Fortunately, I live in the higher part of the county, so little chance of any flooding where I'm at. My backyard is a swamp. I mean, soggy and water everywhere, but no flooding, and I don't anticipate any flooding. But you can't hardly go anywhere because there's flooding all around the county and the state, I guess. I've seen mudslides and just stuff all over the place. It's pretty bad out there. But I've got three coins enders that have struck my attention. This one has a color that, you know, you never know, but it could be silver. I don't know. This one just looks like an older nickel. And this one is just dark. You know, it probably means nothing, but it caught my attention, so I'll open it first. And let's see if we can get any good stuff in this box, because we didn't do too good with the we didn't do too good with the $half, so I'm hoping to do better with the nickels. Well, that first dark one was a 1982. The second one that looked like it had an older nickel, it is a 1952, and it's a Denver, and only 30 million of those minted, so that's not high mintage by any means. Now for the third one, look at this. Oh, they're so loud. Look at this. It's silver, folks. We got a silver. We already have a successful box no matter what else happens. Man, that's exciting. It's a Philadelphia, folks. 1944 Philadelphia. How about that? That's so neat. The only other thing in the roll of nickels there was a $1.95 worth of nickels. We've got a kind of lower mintage 1952 D and a silver in just 3 rows. That's a great start. Jump up to the 6th row, and I find my Canadian that I generally find at least one per box. 1998. Yep, 98 that says. Oh, I think the last box of nickels that I went through, I found another 2024 D. And I said, man, I didn't know I'd found so many. I had 21 of them, and I was going to sell a handful of them. And so today I went to get that done because I've been procrastinating. And I looked, I guess I had what you call a brain fart, because I went to look and I had put the 2024 in my slot in my box with the 2009s. I don't have 2024 Ds. I had 2021, that looks like an old one there. 2009s. I've only got, that made 12 2024 Ds. So I'm going to hold off. I want to keep 10. And so once I get, several more, I may sell a few. 1949 D. Cool. 36 million of this guy. So the two older ones I have found are relatively lower mintages. Not like some of them with over 100 million. A little town that we really like south of here. It's called West Point. A lot of history in that town. We had even looked at a property that we thought we might buy at one time there. It's right on the river, the Ohio River, and it's also where the Salt River comes into the Ohio River. Really cute little town. Well, there's flooding today. They have sent out a message saying, please, no sightseers to come to get in the way. Said our residents are trying to move property, personal belongings to higher ground. So I feel for the people in West Point today. This is the 8th row, and here's a 1941. The D and the S are like 30, 40 million. The Philadelphia is well over 100 million. Oh, and we got the D. How about that? All three of them, the older ones, have been pretty decent mintages so far. My wife, oh man, folks, it is so wet and soggy and rainy. But my wife was really wanting to make blueberry muffins today. We bought a great big old container of blueberries, and she was eating it with her cottage cheese. She's like, it's just too much. And so she's like, let's make some muffins. And I'm like, I think that's a grand idea. And she looked around and she doesn't have her muffin pans in the house. She goes, they must be in the storage unit, where she just hadn't deemed them necessary yet since we've been here. And so she put on her waders, and she got a couple of boat oars so she can row her way through the backyard. Oh, 2024P. I was hoping I might get a few this box. We have one. It's not a few yet, but that's a good start. Cool. I said, don't just dig and dig and dig, because, there's so much stuff out there. If she can just happen to see it, she's going to bring it in. But she doesn't want to dig through a ton of stuff today. I suppose if she doesn't see one, we'll come up with another plan. She just came in. She must have found something. Oh, I even heard a pan. All right. I think we're in business. I'll try to get you photos if they're done in time. I'm in the 10th row now, and here is a 1946. Once again, the D and the S are under the 100 million, and the P is over. What do we get? This time we get the Philadelphia. It had to happen, because that's what you're going to get more frequently. I think I talked about the fact that someone ran into my wife week or so ago, and we've got the pictures and all sent in to the insurance, and they have sent us back, and it's not tons of damage. I mean, I'll put a picture up here, and I was trying to guesstimate what they would offer, and I was way off. And you guys tell me if you've heard. I have heard through the grapevine over the years that these insurance companies kind of like calling the vehicles a total loss, because then they give you so much money for it, but you have to surrender the car to them. And so cars like mine that are still very drivable, that it's several different things on our damage, but it's not hideous. But I suppose if you got it fixed, it'd sell for a decent chunk. And so maybe they're taking them and having their people fix them and then resell them. I don't know. But I was surprised that they considered this a total loss. I am now in the 14th row, and here is a 1947. Kind of rough on this one, is spotty and a little worn. And it is a Philadelphia, I guess. That's what that is. There's less than 100 million made, but the Philadelphia is the higher mintage of the three. So they considered my Buick Enclave a total loss, and we really, really liked it, except that it had that little transmission problem. If it wasn't for that little transmission problem, I probably would have said, how much can I buy you off for? And they let you keep the vehicle, and then they give you so much. But because it had that little transmission issue, I'm like, no, we'll just get rid of it and get it. We were thinking we're going to get another Buick Enclave, only without the transmission problem this time. We may end up going with something else, but we're going to start out by looking at those. We're in the middle of the process of going through everything to get our money from the. I am now in the 19th roll, and here is a 1949. I already know that this one is Philadelphia because I came to the reverse first, and so it is a higher mintage of the three. But another from the 40s that I'll be stashing away. Another interesting point on this whole car accident and insurance stuff. While I was talking to the lady about making all the arrangements, I said, am I qualified for a loaner? She goes, oh, yes, you are. She goes, I wanted to talk to you about that. She asked me which company I wanted to use, and I told her out of the choices, and she got it approved. She goes, you can go today and pick it up. And I already told you they're going to be picking up my car on Monday. And she said I'd have to turn my rental back in Monday. I said, well, the reason I need a rental is because you're going to get my car, and I'm going to have several days without the money for the car. And that's when I'll need the rental. She says, well, I'm sorry, we don't do it that way. It's like, well, what's the point? I said, well, don't even give me a rental. I said, my car is drivable. I need a rental car when I don't have a car. I'm sorry about that. It's like unbelievable. I said, whatever. Makes no sense. I just rolled out the 21st roll, and I just happened to look down the aisle, and I saw that. Do y'all see it? Look at that. That, my friends, is silver number 2. That's quite cool. Come on out of there. 1943, Philadelphia. Silver number 2. All right. Yeah, man. I went back to the beginning of the roll to start weeding through them, and I came to a 1939. Again, I came to the reverse first, so it's a Philadelphia. Will I ever find a D or an S? Maybe someday. But I'm pretty stoked. 2 silvers. Since I didn't get any silver halves this week, that's helping make up for it a little bit. And then my wife will have comforting blueberry muffins to make up for any other. We haven't had those in a long time. Oh, there's the blender. Can you hear it in there? I like that noise. Well, I hope we find another 24 while we're at it, but we'll see. Oh, right at the end, there's a 1940 Philadelphia. Cool. Right at the back end of roll 23, I found 2024 Philadelphia number 2. Very nice. Oh my goodness, folks. I just opened the 25th roll, and I come to 1945 silver number 3. My goodness, what is that? That one is a S. Kind of worn. That's wartime silver number 3 in this box. We're halfway through the box. Folks, I can't remember the last time I've done this. I think I have a time or two. I tell you what, anybody that is watching, the first person that goes back and tells me on what date I put up a video where I had 3 or more wartime silvers in a row, I'll send you a 2024 P nickel and one of my TG pennies that I stamp. If you're interested, it'd be fun to know, and I'll mail those out to you if you'd like to have them. That'd be fun to know when the last time was. I don't remember. I'm thinking maybe a year or 2 ago when I went to West Virginia, and picked up some nickel boxes. It seems like maybe I did. I just don't remember. when the last time was. But anyway, that little challenge is out there if you're interested in that. If you're not, I won't get my feelings hurt. 3 in one box, and it's only half the box. You never know. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, but you never know. That would be pretty neat to find another. I'm in the first half, no, first row of the second half of this intense hunt, and I come to 2024 P number 3. This 2024 P could be yours if... Oh, I also found a 1957 D early in the roll. I'm chilly. I got shorts, a sleeveless shirt and shorts on because, it's spring after all. But with all this rain and moisture around, I'm just chilly. I may have to go put some more clothes on. I like to run around the house free while the earth was being born. But the loveliest of them all was the unicorn. But today I may have to go put on something else. Now the very next roll number 2 in the second half of this box. And we get 2024 P number 4. You just keep them coming and we'll be ecstatic. Oh, there's the 1953 Denver. Another oldie that I'll roll away. I'm still keeping up with my journal, but my journals aren't so attractive. It's not like a really nice spreadsheet. I've had a few people offer to make me spreadsheets, but man, I just don't do good with that stuff. And I don't have the Microsoft stuff. I've got the free version. I can't even think the name of it right now. But I've never messed with the spreadsheet stuff much. And so I probably should someday. But I'll show you what I've got. I just have it on Pages, trying to keep up with everything that I've been doing. And I'll give you a quick glance. About halfway through the year, I'll write in totals and stuff, but I'll just kind of show you what I started with. Well, I am now in the 7th row in the second half of this box of nickels, and I come to a 1941. The D and S are relatively low mintage, but the P is pretty high. And it's the P. Okay. I thought of a little story that I thought was kind of fun. When my dad was a youngster, my dad was born in 1930. In the early 40s, they lived way out in the country. They lived on a farm. And a bunch of kids that lived out on these farms, there was a spot where they would have to get to in the mornings for the school bus to pick them up to take them to Morgantown, Kentucky, where they went to school. And so I guess some of the kids could probably walk to this spot, and they may have had parents that it was too far, so they just give them a ride to this spot in the morning. I don't know what this spot looked like, but I think it had you could wait inside or outside in this location while they were waiting for the bus. And, the kids loved pranking, pulling pranks and playing and just having fun. And there's this one youngster that he was kind of timid, but he wanted to be part of the fun, but he didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. But he wanted to be a prankster too. And so one morning, they were waiting for the bus, and he come running in and yells, We just missed a bus. Just kidding. He couldn't even hold it for 5 seconds to let people panic a little bit. We just missed a bus. Just kidding. I want to tell you, we say that all the time. That comes up in conversation quite frequently. Just kidding. Oh, that's a funny one. Hey, look, folks, I just threw the nickels into the return, and there's one standing up. I wonder if I go around any people, if I can read their minds. Remember that episode in Twilight Zone where the guy bought a 10-cent paper and the dime stood up, and for the rest of the day, he could read people's minds. And then the same person came by that day and threw the dime in for the afternoon paper and knocked that dime over, and he couldn't read their minds anymore. Well, I just did it. It's too late. I didn't even test it. The end of the 8th row here in the box, second half of the box. We find another 1941. This one happens to be an S. How cool. Not a very good looking S, but it is an S. And that is the lowest mintage of that year. 43 million. Not real low, but still fun to find. Oh, I just got a text photo from my wife. The river is in downtown Louisville is rising and getting out of the banks, and they just put these metal barriers up. Here's a picture. Hey, check this out, guys. This was an ender. It's a 2009 D. I didn't catch it because I'm just looking for old nickels and buffaloes and stuff like that. But we got a 2009 D ender. I hadn't found a 2009 in several boxes, so that's pretty nifty. I was thinking about the little bus thing in that last segment, and we had a little bus thing too when I was a kid. Well, I've told y'all before that I live in this neighborhood right here. That's where I grew up, and my grandfather built houses for all the kids and whatnot. And oh, there's a 1952. 1952. Is that an S? Yeah, just 20 million of that one. There's a low mintage coin. Cool. 52S. Anyway, I grew up in the house next door to this house, and my cousin, my buddy I ran around with, lived in this house. And I had another cousin that lived back behind us a little way in the back of my grandfather had bought like a 13 or 16 acre little farm, and they lived on the back side of it. And he would, when we were in grade school, he would come up through the back, and we would, the three of us, usually, sometimes there'd be 4 or 5 of us, but several of us would be out there waiting for the bus in the morning. And the guy that lived back behind us, his name was Tim. We call him Timmy. And his dad, my mom's sister's husband, he was a little bit odd. He has a right to be what he is. But we all thought him a little bit on the odd side. There's another Canadian, number 2. 1986. Well, he would go to the store and get pastries and stuff 5 or 6 times a day. Not uncommon. And he drove real slow. Always real slow. There wasn't tons and tons of traffic back then. And he would come up the side road driveway. There's, 5 or 6 houses, family houses on this driveway that goes back and curves around back to go down to their house. I'll go to the next row. Okay, next row. And I'm trying to remember where I was. But they lived back there, and he would get out after Timmy left the house to come up to wait for the school bus with us. And then he would get out, his dad, to go to the store. And he'd go up the driveway, and he would always, there's another 2024P. That's five of them. Well, he would drive, like I said, really slow, and he would go especially slow when he went up this gravel drive looking for us, and we would hide from him on the other side of the house, and we would go back and forth and back and forth, and he would go back and forth. He'd pull up, stop, put it first, back up, and he would do that 6 or 7 times. And one time, my cousin who lived in this house, he goes, oh, and his name was Cleo. And he goes, there goes Cleo, and there goes the bus. We were so busy hiding from Cleo, we missed the bus. Oh, that was hilarious. I'm sure our parents, my mom or my cousin's mom, I'm sure took us all to school that day. But I'm sure they weren't very happy with us. There goes Cleo, and there goes the bus. Oh, man. Fun times. I think I can smell the muffins. Yes, I'm sure I can. When I come to a nickel that's this color, it's so sad when it's not silver. That is one dark nickel there, 1981. Oh, well. We still got, 11 rolls to go through yet. Hopefully we'll find a couple of more keepable coins. Now the 15th row, and we come to a 1940. And again, you know the routine. The DNS are the ones we're looking for. Oops. This one is the D. Cool beans. Oh, I tell you, folks, we've got some pretty good ones this box. No doubt. No doubt at all. Oh, I didn't hear my wife say if she got those things out of the oven or not. Right after this row, I'm going to run in there and see. And if she's got them sitting there, I'll take a snapshot real quick. And I'll hold it close to the camera. Maybe you'll be able to smell them. And I smell them hot blueberries. There's a D. Is it old? Oh, 59D. Actually, the 59P is the lower mintage one. The 59P is pretty low. Yeah, just 28 million. But this one has 160 million. But it's of the years that we keep. Do you guys remember Zager and Evans in the year 2525? Man, I haven't heard that one in a little while. If man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find. You know, I just bet you they don't play that one because it's not politically correct. I am in the 11th row in the second half of this box, and here's 2024P number 6, folks. That's pretty cool. And I have eaten a muffin. Oh my, it's so good. It's been a long time. Been a long time. I think I'll have to have another. Thank you, sir. May I have another? That was a line from a movie, but I don't even remember what movie it was. Something about getting spanked from behind or something. Thank you, sir. May I have another? If anybody remembers that movie, tell me what it is. There's another dark one that's not silver. 2020. Wow. 9 rolls to go after this one. We are winding down. But man, we got 3 silvers and some 2024s. We got a 2009. Some pretty low mintage older coins. I'm quite happy with this box. Indeed. Indeed. Here is the 17th row in 2024P number 7. Pretty neat, man. My coinflation is still down. I don't know what's going on. So I went over to Kitco prices, and man, silver and gold are down. Silver, it was 34 something a week ago. It's under $30. It's like $29. Man. And remember years ago, it seemed like anytime the Dow Jones was down, that silver and gold would go up and vice versa, kind of. Well, the stock market plummeted today. At some point, I saw 1,500 points. I don't know what it is now. But, and then silver and gold is down. We live in weird days. People are all freaking out because he said this is what he was going to do. We should have all known that you go through a little weirdness before things. I mean, some folks, 224,000 new jobs reported this month. Why do you think that is? Oh my goodness. Now the 18th row in the second half, and here's another one. Is that number 8, I think? 2024P. How about that? The 19th row, and here's 2024P number 9. Number 9. Haha. Neato. My dad worked third shift a few years when I was, in my 11 to 13 years, something like that. And my cousin who lived next door here, he was a little bit younger than me. And I would, on weekends and during the summer, we would stay out late. We were, oh, there's another number 10. Wow. Our parents were like, well, don't leave the neighborhood or don't leave the yard or something like that. And we would get out and goof off. And the road out in front of us was not very busy. Let me go into the next row. Okay, here's the next row. So we would get out, we could go out into the street, and there was, you could go a long time without a car coming. Here's a 1952 Philadelphia, looks like. I mean, they just go by all the time now. There's all types of subdivisions built around here, and this road leads back to a lake. There's apartments at the lake. But back then, you could stand out there at night for a long time, and no cars would come. And we would, pee in the road and make designs. And sometimes we'd get a hold of some balloons and put balloons in the street for people to run over, as if that was going to do. We would line them up in the street, and then when we'd see there's a hill down at the end of the road, and when we'd see headlights come, there's another one. I think that's 11, something like that. Cool. Then we would run through his front yard and there's a little dip on the side yard, not really a hill, but it drops a little bit, and we would jump there and kind of slide and then turn around and watch the car come, and they would hit those balloons, and sometimes they would stop and see what was going on, but it never hurt anything, but we felt like we was doing something. And so we would hide, and then after they would finally go on, sometimes they'd walk around their car a little bit, and then they'd go on, and then we'd run out there and see how many balloons they ran over and busted or whatnot. 3 rows to go, and here's 2024P number 12. Well, they've come along pretty good, haven't they? I was running around yesterday doing my taking back coins and buying coins and stuff, and I ran into a grocery store to get a couple of things, and I get the discount stuff. That's just what I do. And we like to eat sourdough bread. We have a friend who makes it for us, but it's up in Indiana, so we don't always get up there. There's a 1957 Philadelphia. And so we usually try to keep some in the freezer, but every now and then I'll just check the discount aisle and see if they've got a loaf of sourdough bread for real cheap, and I'll pick one up every now and then. And so I ran down there to their little section where they have their baked goods on the discount aisle. They had a whole bunch of packages of bread. None of it was sourdough, I don't think, but they were moldy. It's like, folks, maybe you don't want it sitting out when it's moldy. Okay, folks, the last couple rows didn't give me anything except for my third Canadian nickel. And here's where we're at. Here's the 2024 peas, a dozen of those. I emptied this tube out the last time and rolled them up in a little paper sleeve. 3 more silver war times, which puts me at 61 silver for the year. Fantastic. My goodness, I haven't found 3 in a box and I don't know when. One of you guys might tell me. Stick around for just a second and I'm going to get this journal out and just show you real quick kind of what I'm doing. Believe me, it's nothing fancy, but it is what I'm doing to try to keep up. I think I'm keeping up. Every now and then I'll go a few days and go, oh, I got to go back and put this in or put this in. But I think I'm on top of it. I hope I am. Here's my book that I'm using. And the first thing I have is pennies. I have a few pages paper clipped off so I can go to, when I finish this page, every time I go through a box or 2 boxes, whatever it is, I put down how many pounds and ounces of copper that I find. And then I put how many wheat pennies. If there's anything special, I don't put like the Canadian copper and all that usually. I think I may have started a little bit, but like I got a dime. I found one over 100 years old. I made mention of a King George. I did mention the Canadian up there, but a couple of 2009s I put. I just, whatever was in my mind at the time. But the main thing I'm trying to do is see how many pounds and ounces of copper and how many wheat pennies, and then anything super special that comes along with it. And I'll try to do that with every box for the whole year. And at some point I'll add up how many pounds, how many wheat pennies, that sort of thing. And then I jump over, and it's the same thing with the nickels. I've got to put today's box in yet. And I'm telling basically what I'm finding. There's 135% silver, 3 2024 Ps, 124D, and 16 of the older hoarding nickels. And, I might tell if there's a buffalo or something like that. And so that's what I'm doing with the nickels. I also have, since I go through so many boxes, I needed to make sure I had a few pages for that. The dimes that I find in pennies, I'm just... that's funny, but I just haven't found many this year. Last year, I think I found 30 something in the year, and I'm just not doing that well this year, but I'll try to keep track of that anyway, just for fun of it. $50, I've got to put in yesterday's 2 boxes and then didn't find anything. I may have missed a couple of boxes in this list because I went through several weeks back where it was literally every week was all new. So I didn't even have a hunt. It was just new. So I think I've probably missed a couple of weeks, but I do know if I did miss it, it was just because they were new. Hopefully I won't miss any more, and I'll put those in there. Over here, the silver that I find, I'll have to put in 3 down here. So this includes my $50, my dimes, my nickels, anything else that I might find like in a Coinstar or something. All of it will go on here, and hopefully until the next page or 2. And then the coin return, how much just cash I find, like even like 2 cents I found this day I was out. And yesterday, when I found a handful of foreign coins yesterday. I don't think it was any U.S. currency, but I found a handful of foreign coins, and I'll write those in here. And that's basically my journal that I'm going to keep up with for this year. I know it's not impressive, but it is something for me to keep up with. Folks, that's going to be it. It was a great box, I tell you. I didn't find any silver in the second half, but then again, I didn't have any blueberry muffins in the first half either. So it all works out. Like Jerry Seinfeld says, even Steven. We'll see you next time, folks. Take care.